He was a doctor who abandoned his oath to heal and instead became an architect of unimaginable suffering. His name is Josef Mengele, a man whose legacy is written in the blood of countless innocent victims. A scientist turned executioner, Mengele became infamous as the Angel of Death at Auschwitz, where his cold and calculated experiments turned human lives into nothing more than test subjects in a nightmarish pursuit of genetic supremacy. Today, we'll unveil the chilling truth of his crimes, his escape from justice, and his ultimate fate. Josef Mengele was born on March 16, 1911, in Günzburg, Germany. The eldest of three sons, he was raised in a well-to-do Catholic family that owned a successful agricultural machinery company, Carl Mengele and Sons. From an early age, he exhibited intelligence and ambition. He pursued higher education at the University of Munich, one of Germany's most prestigious institutions, where he studied medicine and anthropology. In January 1937, he joined the Institute for Hereditary Biology and Racial Hygiene in Frankfurt, where he worked for Ottmar Freiherr von Verschuer, a German geneticist with a particular interest in researching twins. Von Verschuer was a strong proponent of eugenics and racial hygiene, and Mengele's work under him further aligned his scientific career with Nazi racial ideology. His doctoral dissertation examined hereditary factors in cleft lips and palates, foreshadowing his later interest in genetics and the racial experiments he would conduct at Auschwitz. By 1938, Mengele had joined the Nazi Party and the Schutzstaffel, or SS, a paramilitary organization dedicated to enforcing Hitler's racial policies. He worked at the Institute for Hereditary Biology and Racial Hygiene under Dr. Ottmar von Verschuer, a prominent eugenicist who encouraged him to study twins as a means of advancing racial science. In 1940, Mengele volunteered for the Waffen-SS and later served in the medical corps of the 5th SS Panzer Division Wiking. He was awarded the Iron Cross, 2nd class, and later the 1st class for bravery in battle. However, after being wounded in combat on the Eastern Front in 1942, he was declared unfit for active duty and reassigned to a new post, Auschwitz. Arriving at Auschwitz in May 1943, Mengele was appointed chief physician of the Romani family camp at Birkenau. He quickly became known for his role in the infamous selections on the arrival platform, where he determined who would be sent directly to the gas chambers and who would be subjected to forced labour or medical experimentation. Survivors recalled his striking appearance, tall, impeccably dressed, often whistling opera tunes while sending thousands to their deaths. Mengele's experiments were nightmarish. He was particularly obsessed with twins, whom he viewed as the key to unlocking the secrets of genetic inheritance. He personally selected hundreds of pairs, often drawing them in with promises of extra food and protection. Once inside his laboratory, the reality was far more sinister. In one documented case, he injected dye into children's eyes in a futile attempt to alter their colour. In another, he tried to surgically conjoin twins to create artificial Siamese twins, leading to fatal infections and excruciating deaths. Beyond his twin studies, Mengele performed high-altitude exposure tests, hypothermia experiments, and chemical sterilization trials, often without anesthesia. He was fascinated with the Romani people, subjecting them to extreme conditions to observe their responses to diseases. Among his most gruesome acts was the practice of selecting subjects with visible deformities or medical anomalies, often dissecting their bodies after execution to study their anatomy. Despite the horror of his actions, he kept meticulous notes, hoping to publish his findings and gain recognition within the scientific community. As the Soviet Red Army approached Auschwitz in January 1945, Mengele fled westward. Unlike other Nazi officials who were captured and put on trial at Nuremberg, Mengele escaped by blending in with retreating German forces. Initially, using his real name, he was captured but later released by American troops, who were unaware that he was on the major war criminal list. He then made his way to South America, first settling in Argentina in 1949, where he lived under the alias Helmut Gregor. There, he established connections with a network of Nazi sympathizers who facilitated his continued evasion of justice. For years, Mengele moved between Argentina, Paraguay and Brazil, always fearing capture. The Israeli intelligence agency Mossad famously captured Adolf Eichmann in Buenos Aires in 1960, but despite efforts, Mengele eluded them. In his final years, he suffered from paranoia and poor health, living in isolation on a farm in Brazil. In 1979, while visiting friends in a coastal resort in Bertioga, he suffered a heart attack while swimming and drowned. His remains were buried under the name Wolfgang Gerhard. In 1985, German authorities exhumed his body and confirmed his identity through forensic analysis. He had escaped justice in life but could not escape history's judgment. The crimes of Josef Mengele are among the darkest chapters of human history. The Auschwitz-Birkenau Memorial stands as a grim reminder of the suffering inflicted upon millions. Survivors' testimonies ensure that the world never forgets. The pursuit of racial purity led to unimaginable horrors, proving that ideology, when placed above human dignity, can result in genocide. Mengele may have died a free man, but his name remains a symbol of inhumanity. Josef Mengele was not a doctor. He was a monster in a white coat. His story is not just history, it is a warning. Remember his victims, remember the truth, and remember that evil, when left unchecked, can disguise itself as science, as power, as necessity. This was the story of Josef Mengele, the Angel of Death. Please like, subscribe and share for more chilling histories from Darklight Archives.